Hello, everybody. This is Christine, and I'm coming to you live from my Cards by Christine studio here in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. And I'm excited to be with you today. Happy Hump Day. It is Wednesday, right? It's just funny how working from home, the days start to blur together. So it doesn't quite feel like Wednesday, but it's Wednesday. Does that happen to you? I'm just gonna get my comments loaded while a couple of you girls join in. So how was your day today? Did you have a good day? Did you get anything done? Did you work? Did you clean? I talked to Linda today and she said that she was working on cleaning her upstairs, so that's exciting. I'm just watching here to pull in the video on my phone. Just give me a second, it'll be loud and then I'll shut it off. Okay, cool. So, fun stuff. It's cold again today here. So, yesterday it snowed on and off and on and off and on and off. And today it did something similar, but not as crazy blustery snowstorms like yesterday. So it was a little bit less on and off, and I had some utility work being done. Hey, Shar, I had some utility work being done outside, so I had a lot of bang, bang, bangs going on. So actually, Alliant came out. Hey, Angela, Alliant was out today, and they were moving my gas meter for me. So with how my project is gonna work outside, the gas meter would currently have been going into where the attachment's gonna go. So they literally had to move the gas meter. It's like on one corner, they had to move it to the other corner. So basically just around like a foot one way and a foot the other way. But that's what they had to do. And apparently like my current gas meter was not up to code. And so they were more than happy to come over and move it. Of course I had to pay for it though, because it was my request. But so yay, another step further into the whole process of Operation Garage She Shed design. Yay, I'm so excited. So last night, it was a little bit later of a stamping night because I was outside shoveling dirt for about an hour with my boyfriend. We started at, I think, 7:15 and worked for about a good hour. And we have to move a garden shed. So, hey, Kathy, we have to move a garden shed. And so it has to just basically move 20 feet away because it's gonna be in the way of the new she shed. And we had to dig 9 inches deep by 5 by 11. And so I helped for about an hour and I'm like, it's cold, I'm tired. Dear, I'm going in. so last night, if I had really rosy cheeks when you were watching me, that's probably why. And I really didn't want to talk about it much because Tyler was in the house. And I always feel a little self-conscious when he's sitting in the other room while I'm trying to do a Facebook Live. So I hated to go through all the details of that. But yay! So I'm excited. Char's on, Angie's on, Kathy's on. So how are you girls doing today? Shout me out some love. Tell me what was the exciting thing you did today. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could be I got up and I combed my hair or I put a bra on, right? Because sometimes it takes work to put underwear on. But so yeah, what was the exciting thing that you did today? So also after I'm done making the card, I'm gonna announce the Facebook Live winner of a little gift from on Monday night. I think Monday night was the April cards that we did. So I have a little gift for somebody that had been participating in that on Monday night. And tonight I don't have anything too crazy for you. We're gonna make a card and I'm gonna show you some of the products that I use for making the card. So Shar, you made cards today, that's awesome. That is very exciting. One of the things that I haven't been doing so much is designing cards. When I was having my back-to-back classes with girls coming in, I was constantly designing cards for the next class. And now without having the in-person, and I'm doing more of this one-off, like daily, doing like something that we make. I've been just doing designing daily for our Facebook Lives and not really designing for classes. And it's been a little bit of a little nice break for me. So yay, okay. So Angie says this is about it, yay. So this is exciting. Okay, so you watch Dr. Phil on the Oprah channel all day, Kathy. Okay, that's good too. Hopefully you learned something and you had some aha moments of like, oh, Oh, really? Okay, so that's good. All right, so I'm gonna flip down my camera. Hey, Dawn, you had the day off every Wednesday until the mess is over. Well, that's awesome. Wednesday's in the middle of the week, so it kind of breaks it up, so that's exciting. I did work from home today, and I had a couple work meetings and worked on some stuff for my boss, and not such a crazy day for me, but I had people coming and going all day long, so it was like a little bit of a rat race outside, which I'm so happy I didn't have to be a part of. So, all right, I'm gonna flip my camera down and we're gonna look at this. So most of you girls probably haven't seen this card. So Char's saying she made a birthday card and stamp set die set for a 19. Oh, that's so sweet. They're gonna really love it. So, so this card is actually a card that I made last June. And when I make cards for my classes, I generally have to forecast how many I need to make. And so in most cases, I have a couple sets of cards left over because if I have like 19 signed up, I'll make 22 or something. You know, I'll just make, I like even numbers. So, because you can cut paper out, like half a sheet of paper, you get 2. If you're making quarter sheets, you get 4 out of a pack, so, or out of a sheet. So I generally like to cut my kits in multiples of 2 or 4. So I was looking through and finding, well, what can we do today? Hi, Diane. What can we do today? So I found this card and I'm like, whew, I have some card kits of this one to put together. And I thought, why not put this together with you girls? You may not have even known that this product was in the catalog. Sometimes we tend to look over things if there's like one stamp set in it that's not so exciting. So hi, Diane. I don't know if you remember this card, Diane. We made this back in June. It was part of the June monthly card making class. So the product from this card, hi Kelly, thanks for joining. I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see in the catalog. This is the, I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit. It is the Mosaic Mood Suite. So over here, what's awesome about the catalog is they have samples on the left-hand page. Thanks for sharing, Char. That's a good reminder. I have a hard time remembering to tell you girls, or actually say ask you girls to share the video. I really appreciate that. So thanks for sharing, Char. So, and then on this side here, they go through all the different products that are in the suite. So this is called the Mosaic Mood Suite. And there is a stamp set and a punch available. Hi, Jay. You just used up the rest of your, oh my goodness, this Memorable Mosaic paper is gorgeous. So what's in here is there's a stamp set. So let me grab the stamp set so you can see what's all in here. The stamp set is called Memorable Mosaic. It is a red rubber cling stamp. And like at first glance, you're like, what is this weird stuff here? Well, it's actually the top of the tree for the trunk here. So there's just individual stamps. There's a thank you. There's like a little ribbony thing. There's a little mosaic star here. Then this looks tile-y. And this stamp matches the punch. So this is considered a bundle and it is available in the catalog with bundled pricing. So the stamp set is 22, the punch is 18. The punch is called the Timeless Label Punch. So I'm gonna set that over here for now so it doesn't glare. Diane's asking if moss. It's Mosaic Mood. And I'm not sure if that's what you're asking about, Diane, but it's Mosaic. And then what we have here, so we have a stamp set, we have the punch, and then there's an embossing folder that goes with it. And I didn't bring that down, but it looks like tiles and swirls. And then there's this really pretty ribbon. I love it. It's got this shimmeriness to it. Is that a word? So it's got this light little shimmer to it. So this is in mint macaron. So that's part of that. There are these pretty little trinkets that are in 3 different colors and the paper. So if you flip over the next page in the catalog when there's a suite, always shows the paper. And this is Specialty Designer Series paper. And so the paper has this gloss to it. So I'm gonna hold this one up and you can kind of see that there's this shimmery shine to it. So that's like, if you feel it, it's waxy kind of. So it's got this embossed look over it. So is that super cool or what? So it does look like moss. Oh, that's what hangs from the trees. Thanks, Jay, for clarifying that. Yes, it's those moss trees. You got it. So like when you're down, if you've ever been to like Charleston or Savannah and they have these cool streets that you like drive down and the trees are just thick full of moss. That's what this tree reminds me of. So good call on that, Jay. Thank you for sharing that. So this is basically the suite of products that I basically used this when I designed this card. And let's pull the card. So I got the catalog away. So this is the card we're gonna be making. And let's see here. Okay, so here's the card. And what we're gonna do is a little bit of stamping. We're gonna do a little stamping and punching. We're gonna use some designer paper. We're gonna use the ribbon. But this card is super cool. So Kathy Miller first made a card with this kind of design or template, I should say. And it's super cool. It kind of opens up like a book. So it's not any more paper that's used. It's just the way that you score on the side here and how you glue it together. Super cool. And then what I'm doing is I'm gonna do sending all happy wishes your way. And instead of putting thank you on the inside, which comes in the set, oh, Spanish moss. Yep, it's all over the trees in Florida. Good call. So I'm gonna pull in here happy birthday. So I'm gonna have this ready for me off to the side here. And so we're gonna do happy birthday on the inside. And this is the card that I'm gonna give away for the drawing tonight. I'll announce this a little bit later, but this is the drawing I'm gonna do for Monday night's class. So I've got the winner on the Post-it note on the back so you girls can't see it. So, okay. And so this is a piece of early espresso, and it's your traditional like vertical looking card. So like normally like when you have a card, it would go like that. But because this is horizontal, so this is your 11 by 4 1/4. And it's definitely scored in half at 5 1/2. So that's the one score line. And I'm gonna grab my bone folder and burnish that edge. So the other score, so if you hold it like this, you've got 5 1/2 here, and you've got 6 3/4 here. So again, you have a score right down the middle, and then you have 6 3/4. So that basically gives you an 1 1/4 gap right here, okay? So fold that, and then what I'm gonna do is fold that back and burnish it going that way. And that's how we get the book. So it's like a ziggy zag here. Got it, right, like that. And all we're gonna basically do is glue this down so that it looks like the book. Okay, so that's the base for our card. Now, the inside, so when that's glued shut, this is gonna be our inside. And that inside mat is basically 4 by 4, okay? So that's the inside mat, 4 by 4. And I have here a piece of terracotta tile. This is one of the in colors. It's not one of the ones that's retiring. It's one of the new ones, so it'll be around another year. This size is 4 1/16 by 4 1/16. And then I have a mint mat, a mint macaron mat. And this mint is 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. So you've got 2 squares going on here. Then I have another white here. And this white just is gonna layer on the inside. This white is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, all right? So this is just a scrap. This scrap is gonna be for stamping my Memorable Mosaic stamp here, the wishes, so that's for that. So then I have a little scrap here. So this little bitty DSP designer series paper is a little guy. So when you have little strips or scraps of, I was trying to say scraps and strips together and I said something weird. so when you have little strips of DSP, use them up by adding them behind things. So this little guy is actually a 1/2 inch by 3 inches. And I actually didn't have anything left of a scrap. So I ended up just using a different piece from that designer series paper, which I'm gonna use in there. And that's quite all right. So, but that's a 1/2 inch by 3. And then there's this one last piece here. This piece right here is 1 inch by 4. Okay, so now we've gotten through all of our measurements. And then this is a piece of the ribbon, and that's just long enough to go, it's gonna be tucking behind. Okay, so let's do a little bit of, let's do a little stamping first. So let me get out here the tree. So we're using mint macaron ink, and then this is the tree. So how I've got this stamped is it looks a little fuller than what the stamp is, and that's because I stamped it at first strength and second strength. So because this is a little bit bigger of a stamp, what I do with those, it's easier to leave them flat and upside down and then come at it with the ink pad upside down like this versus like having the ink pad like this and going all over. So it's always good to practice before you stamp. So I did clear off my purple paper from yesterday, so I got a brand new piece here. It's always good to practice before you go. So what I did is I stamped at first strength, and there's no rhyme or reason to this, but what I'm gonna do is just pick it up and either move it to the left, or I'm gonna move it to the right and down just a hair. And so I'm gonna pick it up and move it slightly. And so when you do that, it's really hard to see it on the purple paper, but there's a little bit darker, and then right next to it is a little bit lighter. And then what you could do is even do a third strength, and that fills it in. You'll really see it when we do the white piece of paper. Okay, but for now I wanted to practice that on here, and then I'm gonna pull out my early espresso, and I'm gonna practice doing my stump. So, my trunk, whatever, stump trunk. So this fits in here, just like there's two little divots that go up, and that's pretty much where that sits, just like that. So that is what I'm gonna be stamping on this white piece of paper. And I'm gonna be looking at this as a guide. So I can see that my mint is up near the top. Okay, so I'm gonna set that over there for now so I don't get a hot mess going on. And I can tell that's a little bit heavier, and as soon as I started to ink it, I switched it around. Okay, so here you go. You're gonna be able to see this a lot better. So I have this right about here, and I'm gonna stamp it once. Now the trick, people ask me in class, why do your inked images always turn out so good? I give it time to soak into the paper. Don't be rushed and take it off right away. So then I'm gonna move, and then I'm gonna go right there, and then I'm gonna go up like that. So when you look at this, let's see if you can see it. You can see there's a darker one, and then there's a lighter one, and there's even one more. So it just fills it in a little bit. Then that's done, so let's get that out of the way. We'll bring our brown in here, our espresso, and we're gonna stamp our trunk, and that's gonna go, so I have a hard time with this because to me, this is the bottom, and the bottom should be straight, but then you've got this curve going on. It's like, it's a monster trying to get you. It's like grabbing at you. So I really want to stamp it like this, but then my trunk would be messed up. So I'm not going to do that, but I almost did that. So I'm going to put that like right about here. Okay, so there's our trunk. So that's done. As long as I have the espresso open, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my wishes here. So because this is how I would go in to punch it, I like to have something to hold on to. If I'm nice to myself, I give myself a little bit of something to hold on to. So instead of punching it right in the middle, what I'll do is I'll punch it off to the side a little bit. And so with this one, you wanna make sure you get this inked up really good. You can see all of this dark area is more of a solid, smooth image. And because of that, you wanna make sure you have really good ink coverage all the way around this. And also when you stamp it, you also want to give it a second to soak into the Whisper white paper. So now that I'm thinking about this, Angela, you're watching, I'm curious how your basic gray ink stamped on the Whisper white paper that we were talking about this weekend. I was curious how it worked with it, if it bled or if it did okay. So look at that. So you can see how it just really stamps super nice if you get it full of ink and then just give it a second to soak in. Hey Karen, thanks for joining. Okay, so then we have happy birthday here, and I like to make sure I get, like, I wouldn't put this on here like that because it kind of cuts off the edges. So in this case, I will definitely put this on here. Happy hump day to you too, Karen. So when you ink this up, when it comes to letters and words, I like to try to stamp them straight. So one of the tricks that I do is I use the bottom edge of my paper as a guide. So what I'll do is I'll pretend that I'm stamping this on this paper, and how I'm holding this, I'm trying to match it up and see if it's straight. And what I find when I look at this is that the H is higher than the Y. So one of the tricks for me to now when I go to my white paper is I want to move my Y up a little bit. So I will practice one more time. And I'm going to practice with the Y up higher. Okay, well now I've got it up a little too high. Hi Marilyn, thanks for joining. So now I'm gonna try one more time and not have my Y up. So if you had a Stampin' or a Stamparatus, that would come in really handy for using this. But you see here by my third try, I figured out how to hold the stamp. So when I come over to my white piece of paper for my inside, I knew that I want my Y to go up slightly higher than my H, just by a little bit, not too much. Let's see how I did. Now the pressure's on, girls. Okay, I don't think that's so bad. So, but that's just to go to show you, like, if you practice on your paper first and get it, half of the battle is learning how to hold the stamp to get it straight. So if you wouldn't have liked that, all you got to do is flip it over. But I think I did pretty darn good for some for some stamping and some straight lines here. So that's all this thing. Oh, you know what we can do, girls? We can grab this stamp set, and there is this cute little circly thing down here. What we're gonna do, as long as we've got the stamp set, I like to decorate the inside of my card. And if you look at the inside of this card, you see what I did here? I used a scrap of this paper as the bottom, just to kind of decorate it and give it some color. Well, I didn't find a scrap in with this kit, so all I'm gonna do is stamp a little circle right down in the bottom corner. Cool, boom, that's good. All right, so now we got our stamping done. I'm gonna close up my ink pads. One of the good things that you need to remember to do is to close up your ink pads. They are water-based, so they will dry out if you keep them open all day long. So I generally try to close them as soon as I'm done with them. Char says it's looking great, thank you. Okay, so grab this guy back and grab your punch, and you're just gonna line that up in here. So how our punches work is when you get them, they're shut like this. And then there's a little mechanism, like a switchy thing on the bottom. Yes, Char likes to do her envelope too, and I definitely would have done, oh, you know what? I don't know if I have an envelope. Nope, if I had an envelope here, I would do it, but I don't. But this is a little mechanism. All you do is you slide that forward, and that opens the punch up. And when the punch is open like that, that allows you to add your paper in between, and you can punch out this mosaic. So this is a different kind of stamp and punch. Normally, it leaves a little white border all the way around. In this case, when you stamp this, some of the brown is actually left around here. So it cuts off and leaves no white border, okay? So that's that. Now, the punch is done. Let's get that out of the way. I think basically what we have left to do is a little assembly. So what I would do, I'll put the card back here so you girls can see it while we're putting it together. Any questions about it so far, or is everybody doing good? So I like to, like in this case, hi Chris, thanks for joining. I have my ribbon around the mint color here. So I don't want to quite glue this down onto the terracotta. I'm going to give that, there's like a little bit of order to it. So what I'm going to do first though, is I am going to glue my Whisper Whites, my white piece down. And that's just going to get centered in the middle of the mint macaron piece. Okay. Again, with the liquid glue, it's really easy to move it around if you need to. And next then is our ribbon. So this is basically, what do I got here? It's 5 inches. And this is where I pull out my tear and tape. Tear and tape's awesome because you can just tear it. And I'm gonna flip this over. I'm gonna put a couple pieces along the bottom. And the more you press the paper down on the tear and tape, the easier it is to peel that off. And I'm just kind of looking at this card as a guide to see where to put this. And I'm gonna put it right about here. And I'm gonna hope that I got my tear and tape in the right spot. And I didn't. I put my tear and tape way too high. So I'm gonna have to put a little more back down there. Diana's loving this card, yay. Okay, so I'm gonna put this down here. And we're gonna try this again. So by putting the tear and tape on the back, it allows me to eyeball the front to make sure it's straight, and then I can tuck my tails behind. And I like to seal the deal by putting a little bit more tear and tape over the top of the ribbon. So basically I've created a little adhesive sandwich with my ribbon, and I've got it in between, and it's never gonna come out. I promise you. With tear and tape, this ribbon will stay in here till the day this card ends up being put somewhere where I don't even want to think about. so there we go. It'll last forever. All right, now that you've got that, I finished the rest of it with liquid glue, and that is going onto the terracotta tile. Hey Kathy, thanks for joining. Judy Immel's in the house, yay. Judy, I feel like I just talked to you. Long time no talk. Okay, so we've got these mats together, and now all I'm gonna do is flip this over, and I'm gonna glue this down. Again, I'm gonna grab my liquid glue. The liquid glue, if you girls don't know me by now, it's my adhesive of choice. I am in love with my liquid glue. I wouldn't say I'm in love with it, but I like it a lot, like a little bit a lot. So, all right. Hey, Judy. Okay, so there's that. Now I have this strip of the DSP. That's the 1x4. And I'm gonna put a little bit of liquid glue going on the back of this too. So what's nice about this designer series paper is one side has that really glossy effect and the other side doesn't. And all this paper is just such a pretty mosaic pattern to it. So this is the one that has the hummingbirds in it. So pretty, so pretty. Okay, so there's that. Now we have a little bit, this little strip here. So again, mine's gonna be different because I used up some other DSP that was in there, and I noticed that a little bit off right there with how much is showing. And Char says that she uses Tombow 90% of the time. Yep, it's whatever you like to use. Okay, so here's that. Now what I've done is I've added this to the card front with dimensionals. So this is the opposite of that. So I'm gonna be using the reverse on this little piece. Okay, so I've got a few dimensionals that I'm putting on this to pop it up. Okay, peel off your backs. And I'm gonna put this, and I have it all the way to the edge here so you can see that. And I'm just putting that, so it's slightly covering up the mint ribbon, just a little bit. Okay. Then we have our label, and so this label kind of covers up a little bit of the ribbon here. It's kind of like that. So now here's my trick with this label. If you would go to put this on and just put dimensionals over this, it would be kind of slanted because you have this already popped up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put 2 dimensionals very, very close to the top here because, I'm going off the page, I had to grab it. So because that's gonna nestle there. And then I'm gonna put 2 of them along the very, very bottom here. And actually, these might be too thick for it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my glue scissors, and I'm actually gonna take 2 strips off of here. So I just cut 2 long rectangles. This is how you use up some of the ends of your dimensionals. And I'm gonna place them along the bottom like that. So now what's happened is I've just created a channel with my dimensionals. And by creating that channel, it's not gonna pop it up so it's got like a wonky height on one side and flat on the other. This way it's gonna just nestle right there. Okay, the other thing that I noticed too is that when I adhere this to the ribbon, that the ribbon is kind of loose like this. So this is where I would actually take, these are these glue dots that we had from the kit from last week. I picked off one of those, and I'm gonna put it on my pokey tool here, and I'm actually just gonna put that underneath here just to have my ribbon get some stability underneath there. I know it's so technical for this card, right? Okay, so then I'm gonna take this bad boy and put him right on the card. And so there we go. So basically, by putting the dimensional onto the ribbon and then sticking the ribbon, it's really made this nice and secure, okay? So far, so good. Okay, that's the front of the card, girls and boys. Now, let's finish up the inside. This is where the magic happens on this card. Okay, so you can, whatever you want to use, but it's got to be pretty permanent. So what I would do actually, just to make sure that this is not gonna come apart, what I would do is I would put a little bit of tear and tape along the both panels here, okay? And then I would actually follow it up with a little bit of liquid glue. Because I do not, so this is kind of like a fun fold card. I don't want this to be coming apart anytime soon. The person that's gonna get this is gonna be opening it and shutting. So like, if you look at this, it's like you're gonna be going like this a lot. You don't want it to be coming apart at the seam. So this layout is awesome. Karen just said that. So Karen, the first time I ever learned about this kind of a layout of a card was because of our fabulous Kathy Miller. She sent me a card, a swap card with this layout. And I have made this card into different patterns now. It's just so cool. It's like a book. It's so much fun. So what I'm doing now is just really getting this tear and tape and that glue set. A little bit of heat and rubbing on this makes that really stick good. So now, like, that's gonna be really super secure. Now, all we have to do is glue the inside in to our card. Just a little bit of liquid glue there. And flip it over. And now this is going to be our 4x4 white inside mat. Oh my goodness, here it is, girls. Bam, we got a card done. Isn't that pretty? And it was pretty easy too, wasn't it? Wasn't anything crazy. So I would love for you girls to take this. Hey Peggy, thanks for joining us. I would love for you to take this layout and make a different card with it. Use some of your other favorite stamps. I know that the tulips are pretty hot right now. Anything would be really cool. So you like it? Give me some love if you like it. So I'm trying to think here. I'm looking up at my swaps and my display boards. I don't know if I have one up here that has that, but I should have pulled one out if I could have found one. But yeah, this is a super, super cool design. So, okay. Have any questions? If you girls have any questions, you can write them into the comments, and I usually go back the next day and try to scroll through and make sure I've seen anything. So, hey Rhonda, I know you're just joining us now. We just made a beautiful card. I'll flip down real quick, Rhonda. You have already made this card. We made this card in the June monthly class last year. So Rhonda is part of my, she usually comes to my monthly classes. So Rhonda, you've probably made this one. The question I have for you is, did you send it out or did you save it? So, so cool beans. Okay, girls. So I don't have much else for you tonight. It's Wednesday. I hope that you had a very great day. I hope that you're surviving wherever you are and that you're making some stuff, some crafty things. I know Judy has been hot at it. She's been making a few things, and I'm waiting for a picture, Judy, so don't forget to send me that picture of the card that you made. So, all right, so I do have this little guy here. I made this last week with you girls. I think it might have been last Thursday night. It was the What's the Buzz All About? And I went through the April monthly class and I picked a winner from there. And drum roll, please. I don't know if she's on here, but Jean Benson was the winner of this one. So, oh my goodness, Rhonda said that she just sent it out last week. That is amazing. So, and Judy saved, oh yeah, Judy made this card too. So Judy made hers and she saved it. So Jean Benson, you're the winner of this. I will make sure I get this to you. I have it on the table. As you girls are winning things, I have a table off to the side here, and I put little Post-it notes with your names on them, so I make sure to give them to you. So I really appreciate that you girls tuned in tonight again to watch me make a card. I have no idea what we're going to do tomorrow night, but it'll be a surprise, just like the paper pumpkin. Did you see about the paper pumpkin? Oh my goodness. The paper pumpkin for May is 12 cards, 8 of them regular size, 4 of them smaller size, but you can always mount them onto a bigger card base to make a bigger card. So no big deal there, but they're gonna feature the new 5 in colors, which will be released in the new annual catalog in June. So you'll get a little sneak peek if you get the May paper pumpkin. So super, super cool. If anybody's interested in getting paper pumpkin, just let me know. I've had 3 people request to get a prepaid subscription today alone. So I will help make sure that we get that set up for you. If you want to get the paper pumpkin for May, you can always just get 1 month and cancel it. And if you don't know what paper pumpkin is, you just let me know and I'll send you some information. So All right, so I've had a blast stamping with you. Oh my God, it's so much fun. I know I am lonely, but I'm never lonely when I'm with you. So this is exciting and fun for me too. I really appreciate you girls sticking with me for these last few weeks. And you know what? It looks like we're gonna be in it for another few weeks. So, hey Bonnie, thanks for joining. You'll have to catch the replay. So I think that's all I have for you girls. I hope you have a really happy rest of your night. Stay healthy and sassy and wise. All right, girls, I love you. Bye.